Good evening, everybody. We're just in the descent here into Corsica.
Noon, Lufthansa 1444 with default level 290.
Lufthansa 1444 Milano, ciao. I do not have a flight plan from you. Can you please file?
We're just, like I said, just in the descent now into Corsica, doing my monthly Lufthansa Virtual Airlines flight. Left out of Dortmund about an hour and 40 minutes ago or so.
Eurowings 3980, monitor Unicom 122.8, ciao.
122.8 for Eurowings 390, ciao. Okay, which means I can now go to VNAV mode.
Lufthansa 4 Lima Tango, contact Swiss radar on 133.05, ciao.
133.05, ciao.
Lufthansa 4 Lima Tango. Which is what I wanted to do. So let's go Unicom 122.8. We are on VATSIM, which you guys have probably figured out at this point. Alright, so we are, let's see here, we're getting too fast is what we are. Remember the ATR will go into pitch hold mode if you go over 245 knots, so you really got to be careful about that. So we are, looks like about, that says 12 minutes, but I think we're further out than that. On the arrival here into Corsica, this should be fun. I'm curious to see what this looks like. I've never done any flying in this part of the world. For those of you who don't know, so I'm a member of 3 virtual airlines, one of which is Lufthansa. And landing elevation is automatic in the ATR. FMS nav data performance is all set. Decision height we're going to set here. And so for Lufthansa, I like to do decision height is 500. What I like to do is they have a really neat feature on their website that allows you to look at all the flights that have never been flown by anybody in the virtual airline. And so that's what I do, and it's kind of fun. I just pick out one of those flights and I fly it. You have to fly one flight every 30 days to keep your status, and I don't do a whole lot of European flying. But the reason I like European flying is because there's generally speaking more ATC service online for VATSIM, and it's usually quite a bit busier, and you know, so it's kind of cool to have that extra bit of ATC service, especially you know, just to keep your radio comms up. And so this might be messed up because, oh, here we are. And let's get a look at the approach here. Come on. As you can see, we came from Dortmund down here over Germany and Italy, and we're now down into coming out over the 1-way-3-4 minimums. Okay. I don't know why this is on night either, because that's not what I really want. All right, so let's keep an eye here on our airspeed and so on. Alright, so final approach course 174, glide slope intercept is 2500 at FKB 16. Minimums are 500 for this airplane. Airport elevation is 26 feet. Missed approach, climb KB 610, max 185 knots. We don't have to worry about that. Then left direct Absin and climbing 5,000 Invac, Aliso, and Capco for holding. Capco is also our initial approach fix, so that would be why does it show me RNA 3-4 approach? I know why. Because I was messing around with. There's like zero wind at the literally zero wind. No, RMP 16. There's literally zero wind at the airport, and so it switched from runway 34 to runway 16. But or excuse me, the other way around, from 16 to 34. But I have no need to switch runways. I'm perfectly happy landing 16. So I'm just gonna leave it there. But it did messing around with my flight plan, trying to check if it made any sense to change, and it didn't. So I do. I hear the German.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just left our cruising altitude and started the approach toward the airport. We'd request that you fasten your seatbelts again, making sure you get all tight. Please don't forget to switch off the electronic equipment now. Thank you.
Alright, it gives us the distances to the it's not quite the runway threshold. This waypoint, it's 1 mile short of the threshold, and then you got to figure it out the rest of the way. But it gives us the distances and the altitudes you want to be at, which is helpful. 3.15 degree glide slope, a little steeper, some mountainous terrain here. So we're gonna be looking at 500 to 550 feet per minute. Runway and identifier lights, PAPI lights, so there's no approach light system here. Max 185 knots. Not quite worried about my airspeed yet. And again, there's our minimums. Category B. So, I'm relatively happy. One last thing I want to check before we arrive is what the parking situation is. I always like to know that. So we're 26 miles from Aliso here on the arrival. Coming up on 10,000. Beautiful evening. I got the frame gen mod enabled. I'm using the Holy Grail settings, and yeah, everything's looking pretty good. If you're wondering what the Holy Grail settings are, just look at the video on my channel. And this is Porretta Airport. Alright. We'll go landing lights on. We go seatbelt signs on. Doesn't seem to me like the the lights and the pedals don't get any brighter when you switch the when you when you turn the lights up. So we'll start coming back on the power, and this is Corsica. Been meaning to fly down to this area a couple times. I did a flight down to the Greek Isles, and it was pretty cool. So. So let's bring up our...
Ladies and gentlemen, the remaining flight time is about 15 minutes. Thank you.
Arrival briefing is set. Seatbelt lights, landing lights. Altimeter is going to be 1022, and it's a 6,200 feet. One of these nonsensical transition altitudes. So I do have, it's the one thing that bugs me, you can't, sometimes if the screen is a certain brightness, you can't see what that indication says. It doesn't make too much of a difference on landing because, see how you can see man right now? It doesn't make much of a difference on landing, but it certainly does on departure when you're trying to get into trying to get them into the notch position. You can't. So the airport's down in that little valley here over the next hill. To really start bringing back my power. Alright. And with the ATR, you just want to, you set your power, like I want 170 knots. So you just play with your throttles until that trend arrow is on the 170. Then just leave it there, and that's where you'll wind up kind of yo-yoing a little bit right now. Alright, I'm happy right there. Look at this. Quite a screenshot there, kiddos. Alright, let's set that 1022.
Meine Damen und Herren, zur Landung dürfen wir Sie nur noch bitten, die Rückliniensitzsitze wieder senkrecht zu stellen und den hier schön zurückzuklappen. Dankeschön. Ladies and gentlemen, for landing, we can request you to adjust the backers of your seats and turn upright position again and fold up your tables. Thank you.
Alright. Alright, let's see here. Paretta traffic, Eurowings 390, 25 miles to the north, inbound, runway 16, Paretta. And now would be a good time. How far out does Cap go? Yeah, I'm okay at this speed right now. Gosh, this is gorgeous. Look at this. I don't even have the TLOD and everything jacked right now because I was more concerned with performance on this flight than maxed settings. Alright, we're good to go. Once we level here, we're gonna get airspeed will drop off pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna relax here for a little bit. Alright, let's bring this down 2500. Go BS mode. And as soon as you see that box, you can go VNAV. So we'll go VNAV. And I'm purposely keeping the speed up here a little bit because we're still a good ways out. I don't want to. But that IKB 16, that is 10-mile final, so about 15 miles north now. Beretta traffic, Eurowings 390, 15 miles to the north, inbound runway 16, Beretta. This airplane slows down so nicely. So, speed checks for flaps 15. Can't help taking screenshots. It's just amazing. Alright. And there we have the field in sight. Beretta traffic. Eurowings 390, 10 miles to the north, inbound runway 16, Beretta. Look at this, how amazing. How amazing. Alright, cabin crew. Landing gear, flaps, power management, we'll go all that stuff here. Take off right now. External lights are all on. So, alright, and we can. I'm still alright here, speed wise. Once we get past this, we can go down to 500. So I'm gonna dial that down. We're good to go. I do believe speed is good. Can't go under 2,500 feet until we get to FKB 16 here. I'm just going to keep the speed up just a little bit here coming in. And this is Corsica, folks.
2500.
Alright. Correct of traffic, Eurowings 390, turning a 7-mile final for runway 16, Beretta. And it's a little bit. So you're definitely coming in at an angle and then making a landing. So let's go, bring the power back just a little bit. Let's go gear down. Flaps full. We'll go autopilot off. Go yaw dampen our way, my aircraft. And again, just adjust your throttle until you've got that yellow trend needle there, right on the airspeed that you want. Alright, red over, white over red, looking good. This is an amazing approach. How cool is this? Alright. Yep. A little bit of power in here. It says about a 4-mile final, but I think we're closer than that. But at night, you can definitely get some visual tricks, right? So should be Beretta traffic, Eurowings 390, 3-mile final, runway 16, Beretta. Alright, gear down, 3 green, flaps are set, getting a little bit high, we'll pull some power out.
1000.
Yep. Looking good, looking good. Just a little bit of power out here because we're tiny bit high. We've got some energy to spare. Gosh, if I don't grease this one, I got no excuse, fellas. No excuse at all. Keep an eye on that speed. Keep an eye on the vertical speed. We like 2 white, 2 red. We do, we do.
Approaching minimum.
Oh, this is so much fun.
500.
Continuing.
Minimum. Minimum.
It's just gorgeous. Look at this.
400.
2 white, 2 red. I almost look like a pilot at this point.
300.
Jinx myself. Even the grass is turning green as we're getting closer. That's an indication.
200.
Alright, airspeed's good. Power out.
100.
50.
50.
40.
40.
30.
30.
20.
20.
10.
10.
Did you even feel that, guys? Did you even feel that? A little bit of rudder. Going uphill, so I don't feel the need to use the reversers too much. Alright, come off that. Bring in some brakes. That wasn't too bad. That really wasn't too bad. That was a fun approach. Gosh, is that beautiful.
Sportlich und dynamisch für unser junger Co-Pilot wieder gelandet, dürfen wir Sie noch bitten, zu Ihrer eigenen Sicherheit
Look at this airport. Boy, oh boy. I picked it today. It's just amazing.
Wir hoffen, Sie hatten einen angenehmen Aufenthalt hier bei uns an Bord. Wir wünschen Ihnen nun einen schnellen, aber vor allem sicheren Weg nach Hause und gegebenenfalls eine angenehme
Beretta traffic,
Weiterreise.
Eurowings 390 is clear runway 16, Beretta. I don't think we're supposed to park over here, but I'm parking over here. Just because it's such a cool looking airport. Oh, who knows? Maybe we're allowed to park over here.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, fare and safety, please remain seated. With your seatbelt fastened until we have reached our final parking position, and the fasten seatbelt signs have been switched off. We would like to say goodbye to you now. It was a pleasure having you aboard today, and we hope you enjoyed your flight. We wish you our safe and quick way home, or a nice onward journey. We say thank you for being our guest today and looking forward to see you soon on one of our flights. All the best to you, take care, cheers and bye-bye.
Yeah, I think I goofed. I think I'm supposed to be parking at the angle there. And this line here threw me off. That's alright. So we'll come to the stop here. Gust locks on. Set the parking brake. Let's come over here. We'll go wheel chocks, ground power. Come up top. Ground power is on for both. Actually, takeoff lights off. Beacon lights off. No, excuse me. I don't want the beacon lights off. I want the nav, the strobe lights off. And we'll turn the seatbelts off. Release the humans. Prop brake is ready. Don't need it because we've got ground power, but we'll set it anyway. And we are set, ladies and gentlemen. Get our doors open here. Tail prop out. And there you have it. I mean, that was a pretty cool. That was a pretty cool approach, and this is a pretty amazing airport. Look at this. This is a payware airport that I picked up for Corsica. This airplane does not exist in the Lufthansa fleet, but I just think it looks so cool that and they let you use the ATR. So I hope you guys enjoyed that approach. How could you not? It was just gorgeous. So a really good approach in landing. The stability for frame gen and the Holy Grail settings are confirmed on my end. So the one thing I did I'd been having some stability issues. The one thing that I did do to try and fix that was I got rid of MSI Afterburner, which was my external frame rate counter. Still had some stability issues, not all the time, but a little bit here and there. And so I read that someone left a comment that they set their max frame rates to 60 frames per second in the NVIDIA control panel, and I did that. And since I've done that, everything's perfectly fine. So I think I'm pretty much ready to go and go straight for max ultra settings, 400 terrain level of detail, and just max it out and see what happens basically. So, but anyway, so far so good, and hope you guys are doing well.